right, hello and welcome to This Week in Gwent, a weekly show in which we talk about Gwent. But more importantly, we also have guests, and today we have fjolynn. Fjolynn, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks so much for having me. I'm
I
very
am
excited.
good. Thank you for taking your precious time in order to come over and talk a little about Gwent, about you as a streamer, and all the good stuff that has been happening in in Gwent throughout this week. This week in Gwent. Yeah, easy. All right, so we'll start with that. Then we'll get to know you a little bit better. I know I've been kind of lurking in your streams, so I pretty much know that you entertain everybody. You love food, you love wine, and you love Gwent, and it's a interesting combo. But we'll get to all those things. So yeah, let's maybe start with. There's not really a lot of news for this week. It's been quite the slow week. We have our red news, which is there's only one thing here. Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales has been verified for Steam Deck. So yes, it is compatible. You can play it. Easy peasy. Check it out if you haven't played it. Play it. I think it's also on sale until May 2nd. 70% off. Don't sleep on this game because it's very, very awesome, good, incredible. I can talk for days about it, but yeah, highly recommend checking it out. If you haven't played it and you don't have a Steam Deck, you can also play it on your PC. It's on Switch. It's on mobile devices, so everybody has to play. I even got my dad to play this game, so I recommend everybody to check it out. Although I don't think he got far, which is not a good recommendation. But he's not good in card games, so it's totally fine. Yeah, I'm trying to get my dad into card games, but I don't think he's having any of it. Moving on. Community news. New episode of Flurza from last week, but a new one will launch this week. Last one was about net decks and toxicity or toxic decks and stuff like that. So highly recommend to check it out. I have nothing against net decking. I consider some decks maybe a little bit toxic, but this is a card game, so you will get decks which are, some of them are easy to play, easy to counter, and some of them are just crazy. And if you don't play around them, well, you pretty much get screwed. So decks that people consider toxic would be Mill. I think that Mill isn't that hard to go against. Although I played this week against Mill and I got milled. So yeah, I don't know why that happened though. But yeah, fjolynn, any decks that you consider toxic?
Well, I used to be a strong supporter of no unit decks, so I guess I'm not the one to speak about toxic.
They're not toxic, they're
but
fine.
Yeah, they were super fun. And then you guys introduced, the limits for the units that you have to have in the deck.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't
now
for that.
I think
I was against that.
Good. So maybe at some point, next batch? No? Maybe it could be a limited time mode or something? Seasonal no unit mode?
Oh, maybe that's a good idea. I'll pass that on idea. I like that. I would actually enjoy that. So yeah, although I think that Cotilus for me is a little bit toxic. But yeah, anyhow, the rest are pretty much that we have are pretty much fine. Unless something is toxic because it's unbalanced. But we get into that on the show, so highly recommend watching or listening to that one. It's also on Spotify. A new one drops today, and it's about winning and losing in card games and why we keep on coming back for more. Interesting conversation. Flake had a lot to say, as always, of course. Moving on, KG Hearts and Wine has been spamming Reddit with some cool decks. There's this really one that caught my eye. It's an NR with Meave. Highly recommend checking it out. And ESC has their meta snapshot number 19. Interesting because in their snapshot, elves are very high up on the thing, and I think that elves they're okay. Everybody has been talking about dwarves being so good. I think elves, they have them as a tier 1 deck, which is pretty good. I don't think it's that good, but I've actually tested it this week with Ring of Favor, and I feel like it really, really does That's really cool stuff. I am playing daily Phantom Mag, except I am not streaming it recently because I just don't have the time. So I'm just playing Gwent in between meetings at work, which is which is totally fine.
Tell us the secret on the second screen. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's very hard in the day to find time for it. So I have to do it that way. I'm trying to get to pro rank. I'm still stuck in rank 2. I was very close to rank 1, and then I got kicked. So that it is what it is.
By the kicker?
Huh?
Kicked by the kicker.
Yes, by the kicker, exactly. All right, fjolynn. That's it for all the stuff that has been happening in the world of Gwent. Let's get to know you a little bit better. How did you discover Gwent, and how did you get into the game?
So I know that lots of people obviously discovered the standalone game because of Witcher 3, but I still had no idea. I was unaware.
Nice.
When I was playing Witcher that Gwent exists. So a friend of mine from work actually recommended to me because he used to play lots of CCGs. And and as soon as I realized, hey, there is a game set, in the Witcher universe, why not? Just gonna go for it because I love it. I feel like, I don't know, Gwent is so amazing because you have the series now, you have the books, you have the RPG game, and then you have Gwent. So it's a very wholesome place to be in if you like it.
It's really cool that you started with Gwent, the standalone version, instead of like the majority of people that first started of like Witcher 3, and then like even Witcher 1, 2, and then 3 and 3 they had Gwent. They tried Gwent. Like I didn't play Gwent in the Witcher 3. I always say it because I don't feel like it was something that really drew me. I was more into the story, and I play an RPG for playing an RPG instead of focusing on side stuff. But did you get to like play Witcher 3 after playing Gwent and then kind of catching up on the books and stuff like that, or no?
I mean, I did play Witcher, but I never really played Gwent so much because I felt like it was pretty random and you just have kind of the strongest cards and you roll with it. And if you don't discover new cards through quests, then you obviously end up facing people who have much better decks than you.
Yeah.
And in that regard, Gwent is way more balanced, I think, and fair, and can actually build lots of decks with archetypes. It's by far a more complex game. Yeah, I was in Witcher 3 for the quests, for sure.
Yeah, I agree totally. Have you played any other card game before Gwent? Have you ever tried anything like, I don't know, Magic, Hearthstone, stuff like that, or no?
No, never before and never after. Gwent is my only card game.
Nice. Full
and I don't feel like I would switch now because, I don't know, I just love the art so much in Gwent. It's hard, to get away from that.
True. Do you have a favorite art or favorite maybe card or character from the universe that is like the number one?
I don't think I can choose number one. I guess it would have to be Greatsword because that was the deck that I jammed in open beta pretty much. I don't know, hundreds of times. I was like the kind of person who would take one deck and literally play it for like months and months. And my friend was like, come on, try different factions, try different archetypes. It's like, nope. I'm happy with my great swords.
I have the same problem kind of that, whenever there is a deck that I learn to pilot like super well, it's very hard for me to kind of switch to something else. And I feel like as a card game player, you should be pretty much going from, one to the other and trying to kind of find, what to do in terms of like knowing the meta. And I feel like the more decks you play, the more you learn. But I also feel that the matchups really matter the most. So if you're playing with one deck, but you're facing multiple other decks, you with time get better and better, and you get to know how to, play against them, how to counter them. But I feel like you also learn how to play them to some extent. But, having the possibility to actually play different decks lets you kind of, look under the hood and kind of see, okay, because sometimes you might be facing, someone with piloting that deck and they're just piloting it with, with no skill, or they're making a lot of mistakes. So it's just like a back and forth thing.
Yeah, I think that's what differentiates probably a good player from a really good player, right? That you know how to play around stuff, which I don't, because I play only certain amount of decks. And for me to really learn how it works, I have to play it myself. And since I don't really know necessarily how to play around some things.
But still, you managed to do like super well, right? Because you're currently, I think, in pro rank, right? But you've been in pro rank like numerous times, easily.
Yes, I am at the very bottom of pro rank and
Still,
proud.
I'm not
Very
even there
fast.
yet.
You'll
Like I
get
used
there.
to be, but I started playing more right now. But yeah, like that still itself is good. Um, when did you decide to kind of move into streaming? Was it something that you wanted to do in the beginning, or did you kind of jumped into it because of the pandemic? Because I know a lot of people, kind of started that way. What was the incentive there?
Yeah, exactly that. It was literally during the pandemic when, yeah, people were picking up these different random hobbies, like baking bread
Yeah.
or getting a puppy or starting to go for jog and stuff. And I started streaming because, well, Gwent was actually the first game I ever watched on Twitch as well, because I never watched Twitch before. And I just really felt like the community is so welcoming, like everyone seems to know each other, and yeah, so I was just thinking, why not give it a go?
Yeah.
And it went really well. Yeah, last summer.
Nice. Did you think about maybe like also streaming Witcher, like the Witcher 3 or something like that, or did you decide just to mainly focus on Gwent in this case?
I would love to stream Witcher 3, to be honest, and probably some other RPGs, but I'm not sure my potato PC can handle it. And Gwent is pretty good for streaming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Whenever you get into streaming, and especially if you think about like the games and like a heavier title, it kind of requires upgrading the whole setup. And I think it's kind of like a never-ending story. I feel because like you upgrade one thing and then you upgrade the other thing, and with PC, like once you built your own like workstation to say, you pretty much have to be upgrading it like all the time. So yeah.
Yeah. For my PC as well, because I can't just take new parts and put into it because I need to basically get a new tower
Hmm.
and then rebuild everything, which I can't. Maybe my one of my friends will help because I just can't do it. I would just buy probably like a new PC, which would be 100% overpriced just
Yeah.
because it's pre-built.
Yeah, the pre-built ones, that's the problem with them. Like you have to pretty much rely on the store that is selling it to you. Sometimes they're just packing in stuff that they have on the shelf and it's not always the good stuff. Or they just, build something good, but they raise the price on everything, just paying for the build quality or something like that, that, one of their people does. So yeah, I highly recommend. Like when I was, cause I upgraded like fairly not long ago, that was pretty much the same thing. I asked a friend what should be there. I got the parts and then asked them for help. Well, but yeah, for us it's also good because working in CDPR, like you have a lot of IT technicians who can help you out, so it's always good. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think also friends in this case are good to kind of help you, or there's like a million YouTube tutorials to do it, so easy clap. Tell
True.
me, how much in tune are you with the Gwent community? I know you have your own Discord. We can follow you on Twitter and stuff like that. But and of course on Twitch when you're streaming. And recently you've been on a streaming streak. I saw.
Oh, two
Yeah,
days. Yay!
that's good. That's good. I know it's very hard, to keep a consistent schedule because there's a lot of stuff going on in life. But do you know like more or less like what's going on Reddit and stuff like that, or do you try to move away from toxicity and kind of just focus on your own community?
Hey, did you just say that the whole Reddit is toxic?
No,
No
no,
way.
never.
No. Yeah, no, I do hang out in the streamers chat that I watch most often, I would say. Well, Celie for sure. And Celie has a really cool and wholesome community around her streams. So I think that's the place I usually am at. And a few others. But that would be my top, I think.
Yeah, Celie, I saw her being here and in chat, so easy clap. Yeah, also
Oh,
like Emily, Emil, not Emily. I always say that improperly. I hopefully saved it. But yeah, it's really cool also to because it's a topic that we kind of touched upon with Flake in one of the Flirts episodes. It's actually good to see more female representation for Gwent overall. Like I feel like we have a very strong community building here, and you have shown that card games are, not only a boys' club, which I'm very, very thankful for, and it's super awesome. So thank you for doing that. But how, like you said, that the Gwent community more or less, I think more, is very humble, but very also like receptive. They really take like new people in and kind of gather around them. Do you maybe think that when you were getting into Gwent at the beginning, this was kind of like a factor that made you stay with the game?
yeah, for sure, because I could tell that, just like you said, the representation is, pretty good, I think, in Gwent. And I actually started streaming last summer around the same time as Emil and Lady Squirrel. So two other female streamers, and now we share Discord together. And yeah, I think it's really cool. And in general, I don't know if I can say it live, but Gwent doesn't have the same vibe as, let's say, shooter games would have, with the big D energy floating around and people being really toxic towards girls and whatnot. So yeah, in that regard, Gwent is like just a nice place to be.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I think, yeah, this is what kind of makes card games, I feel, more inclusive, and I think it's also a process in terms of like what's happening. Like back in the day, and this is not only about like Gwent, but overall in CCGs, like back in the day, like we would mainly see a lot of guys only being present in the like on the casting side of thing, and also on the streaming side. But now it's kind of become a place where everybody can pretty much join in and kind of enjoy the game and build a community around it.
Yeah, for sure. But it's the universe itself, I think. That's what I like in Witcher, because obviously you have Geralt, but then the other main characters would be,
They're
well,
badass.
Yen and Ciri, and they are badass for sure.
Yeah. Triss or Yen? That's the question. When you were playing your playthrough, that's the number one question.
Why is that even a question? Of course, Yen.
Nice.
Of course, of
Good.
course.
Good. Yeah,
Wait,
I
what
was
about
just
you?
Yeah, of course, Yen, of course. Come on. Triss is just there as filler content.
Oh wow, I saw your CDPR was a tweet was on LinkedIn when you had this Easter card
Yeah.
with 3 little eggs.
Yeah.
What's that about? It's Geralt, Ciri, and Triss.
I
I think
know.
someone got it
I know.
wrong.
Actually, someone noticed that. I think some posts in a row that we did on the Witcher account had Triss everywhere. So now we kind of it was a mistake, and like someone I think noticed it, and I'm like, okay, guys, like from now on it has to be like Yennefer to balance out the Triss content. Exactly.
Someone got in with some strong preference. Wow.
Yeah, and the community notices this like instantly, so easy clap. Okay, so we talked about everything, which like okay, like circling back, Witcher 3. What really caught your interest the most in the game? What was are you really a person that likes to do like play a lot of RPGs, or was it just something that caught your eye because why?
Yeah, so I do like, actually, before, Gwent is the first online game I actually played in my free time. And before that, I would play single player like RPGs or action adventure. And Witcher was so amazing because the quests didn't feel like the filler quests, and they actually were meaningful, and they weren't binary, as in you're doing a good thing, you're doing a bad thing, which I think is the whole thing about Witcher, which is so great.
Yeah. Shades of
And
Grey.
for example, yeah, exactly. So Dragon Age would be one of my favorite games. But god damn it, like Dragon Age Inquisition, the fetch quests are just, if you're a completionist and you have a bit of OCD about doing that, it's you literally ride your horse for like 10 minutes to pick like a little rock or something like this and take it all the way back. Yeah, I love Witcher, and in fact, I still haven't finished Blood and Wine
Ooh.
because I know, which is crazy, because I can't remember why I stopped, but I never got back to it. Now I feel like I already know what's gonna happen because I've seen so many
Yeah.
spoilers, and Gwent, in a way, spoils some
Spoils.
stuff as well. So, well, hopefully, maybe on stream one day. But Hearthstone are it's my favorite.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, Olgerd, Iris, and Gonter Odim, all those characters, freaking amazing. Although I am more of a Blood and Wine person because Regis, like because for me, I've read the books in the beginning. So because in Poland they're kind of mandatory reading even at school. So when you're like in middle to no high school probably because Witcher books I don't think they would be good for middle school developing children, but like high school you get to like read The Last Wish, which is the short stories. And after that, I played Witcher 1, Witcher 2, and Witcher 3 chronologically because that's how they were coming out. And yeah, I got hooked on from the books. So pretty much that's kind of that was the start for me. Did you manage to read any of them or kind of anything
Yeah.
apart? Probably also the Netflix show, right? You probably watched that.
Yeah, I watched that. I read all of the books maybe like a couple of years ago. It's pretty amazing that you have it at school. Do you actually get to like discuss,
Hmm.
the conflicts and the themes and stuff? Because
Yes,
there is a
yes.
lot of it.
Yes, we actually get to. It was funny because you also, when you kind of finish high school, you can, because we have like the Polish language itself has kind of like this examination that is both written but also spoken. So you can do a presentation, and I actually did a presentation that was about Geralt as a protagonist, and also had other protagonists from different Polish like fantasy stories that I could talk about. So that one was kind of cool. But yeah, with my like Polish teacher, apart from reading all the canon books, we also had Sapkowski's book to kind of discuss in class, and I think it was one of the more entertaining classes because normally like the old school literature is just boring, but this one was like
Yeah,
fantasy,
exactly.
so it's like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing that you have it at school. Nice, because I mean, there are so many themes about I don't know, like everything, like morals and even racism and
Yeah.
these like lots and lots and lots of stuff. How come that you love ST so much?
Is
It's
how
because you read the ST as a faction,
Square
Square
Cell.
itself. Did you like them like when you read the books?
It's actually interesting. I don't know. I liked them when we first started working on the standalone game. I just liked the gameplay aspect of it, and I really liked Yorvit as a character. So I've always been kind of drawn to them. But I kind of also really like this how they were portrayed in the books, that they were kind of oppressed by humans, and I feel like they were kind of always the rebels. And also like liking Star Wars and stuff like that, you kind of always go towards like sticking with the rebellion. So I was instantly like drawn more to them. Like I couldn't play Nilfgaard. I also liked NR in the beginning, but just gameplay wise, it wasn't my thing. I like sneaky ambush stuff, and like you mentioned like no unit deck back in the day. I used to love that, like a deck where it had just specials and then multiple
Better,
scorch effects. Totally fine, right?
really wholesome. Yes.
What's your favorite faction then?
My favorite is Skellige, I think. That's what I was like jamming when I started playing Gwent, just because I really like the aesthetics of it and it's kind of Viking-ish.
Hmm.
So yeah, I really liked it and all the voice lines and accents and how they look a bit gloomy, rainy and stuff. But I like Northern Realms actually. I'm
Yeah.
a Northern Realms fan girl. I don't really play ST, but I did back in the day when these no unit decks were around.
Yeah, it was a good time for Square Tell. I don't know why our design team doesn't want to bring them back, because I feel like it was a lot of fun, but I also know that a lot of people consider no unit decks as being toxic, of course. So yes,
True.
Skellige is actually a good choice, and I feel like I used to also play a lot of Skellige back in the beta days. So, oh yeah, when did you join? Did you join in closed beta?
No, that was open beta, I think.
Open beta,
So
okay.
that was around the time when the great swords were around, the alchemy, you know, all that stuff. I remember the alchemy deck would be, you know, the one to be aware of if you were playing great swords, because you would just lose most of the time in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there used to be a very good discard Skellige deck that I used to play. And it was still at the time where we had Gwent on consoles. And I remember having an account on PS4 in which I just played that discard deck. And it was so good that I remember I could like grind from, you know, from the lowest rank to like the pro rank in, I don't know, like 2 days maximum, and maybe not playing nonstop, of course, but get there like super quickly.
Yeah, I feel like now in general the amount of decks, unless you're aiming for like top 64 or something, or even top 500, but if you're just playing more casually, there is a really big variety of decks compared to Homecoming, that's for sure. Especially now with Necker, I feel like I don't know, people can really come up with lots of stuff. That's probably like my favorite card that ever was released. Seriously, it's just so good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, from the cards that we recently released from the 21, what's your favorite? So you would say Golden Necker, right?
Yeah, for sure. It just allows you to play, you know, to not aim for your high-end cards, but to really utilize kind of the middle of your deck, the mid provisions. And it's pretty good. Although the base would still be the same across decks, because you would play Nova, well, you would play Erendite probably, and Kecker. Still, I feel like I actually even played some monsters recently. The Kusento made a really cool
I saw
AQ deck, and that was really fun, because normally I wouldn't play monsters, but I actually felt comfortable doing that.
Yeah, it's nice that you
Even on
can
stream.
slam that card into any deck and build some stuff around it, and it works like super well. And I think Kekker's actually slowly becoming a thing more and more. So yeah, really happy about the card's performance, because also, like, in the beginning, whenever we have cards that kind of have like this, you know, random effect attached to it, I feel like community might not, you know, like it and say like, oh, this is not going to be playable. And I also saw like some of the first initial reviews when we were showing it during open, people saying on Twitch, oh, this is not going to be playable, like, what is this? But then you know, it's something that is fun to play, it's fun to stream, because but also you can pretty much predict like what you're going to get, right? So that's much easier, instead of, you know, having like a full-on random effect and you don't know what you're pretty much gonna get.
Yeah, but at the same time, now I feel like some people are jamming the new create decks with the new Rune Mage, and that's basically like a Casino Fest. So you would have Umo in it, and all the random create cards. It's pretty cool. Actually, yesterday I think I queued into it like 2 or 3 times. Just kept queuing into Nilfgaard. So I think that's a fun aspect of it.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. The problem with Rune Mage, because I was recently talking also to Mr. Epic, he plays Shoop. He's just like makes Shoop more predictable, so he doesn't like it. So interesting take on that.
I never played Shoop, like not a single time. I literally never, not a single time played Shoop. I don't even know, I think still, after 3,000 hours in Gwent, I'm pretty sure that I still don't know what all of the options are.
Damn, 3,000 hours, that's a lot.
Yeah, but you know it counts when it's idle, I think.
I know.
That's what I tell myself.
So you mainly play on PC, right? Do you also play Gwent on the go or something like that, or no?
Oh, I tried to play on my phone a few times, but when I was commuting back in the day to work, but because of the Potato UK internet, it kept disconnecting, and sometimes would lose my whole mosaic or something when trying to climb up the back to Pro. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing that again. PC.
Yeah, I also feel like it's like, to be honest, like how we optimize it, it's, you know, played super well on PC. I also play because I use normally on a daily basis for work. I use a MacBook, so playing on the MacBook is also pretty convenient. But yeah, I feel like playing on PC, if you want a stable connection, if you want everything to look good. I also like have on my PC the normal one, like the 4K pack, so everything looks crisp. So yeah, I agree with you. Like the art and this aspect of it is kind of the thing that I kind of look into the most. But yeah, I also know that there are some problems with the Gwent app on some of the mobile devices on Android specifically. But yeah, we're looking into those. Yeah, Phantom
Well,
Man
and
is saying he has like 13K hours in the game. That's a lot. You must just
13K. Whoa.
you have to like keep your
Okay.
PC on all the time. I think I have like Devil Driven as a friend. I think he has like 9K, but he doesn't have 13K. That's a lot.
Yeah, I wonder that if you have the info of who's got the highest amount of hours in Gwent.
Actually,
God, that would be
now that you
interesting.
mention it, I need to ask someone from our data collection team if they can provide that information. When you're playing Gwent, which vanities are your favorite? This is a question that someone asked us also like recently, but question for you, like what do you enjoy the most? Is it journeys and the leaders, or is it card backs, boards?
I don't know. I like to pick the card. I would say the profile, the card, the title, and the avatar and the border, so it all matches, like in terms
Nice.
of colors and stuff. So I'm that kind of person for sure. Like, don't
Respect.
care if it matches thematically really or not so much, as long as the colors, I'm happy.
Good.
Yeah, but I've got to say, I love the new Golden Necker avatar. I was searching for it yesterday for like 15 minutes in the reward book. Found it. Very happy
Just
with
clicking
that.
just to get it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Siri journey actually to come back, because that was the one that I missed because I didn't play Gwent for a bit because of the double ball. It just made me mold so hard that I had to stop for a little bit, and then I came back the next patch. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to unlocking some of her skins.
Yeah, the new infinite journeys, as we call them, are coming with update 10.5, which is coming on May 10th. Exactly, yeah. So you will be able to continue series journey, but also there will be a lot of like new quests for both Geralt and Ciri, and there's going to be a little bit more vanities to kind of unlock. So it's the stuff that, you know, if you played already and you have most of the stuff, you still will be able to unlock some new stuff. So that's really cool. And the new quests will kind of let you to progress through it quicker, and the story will be fully unlocked, so you'll be able to read that instantly. So that's really cool. I also can't wait for them to come back, because I know Ciri was the one that was kind of shorter compared to the other ones. So I think this is the one that not everybody finished.
Which one is your favorite in terms of skins or cosmetics, maybe as well?
I Regis, because he has 3 modes, I would say. But I like Dandelion because I got to do the ambient voicing for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the ha ha and all that stuff. So
What? I didn't know that. That's cool.
yeah. So that was really cool to do, because there was this one day that someone from the audio team like wrote to me, is like, would you like to do Dandelion's kind of, you know, stuff when he's on the board, like kind of the ambiently just moving or doing like a quack quack and stuff like that. So I said, yeah, I totally want to do it. They're like, yeah, you have a high pitched voice, so it will work. But I'm like, you know, I'm not the voice actor for Dandelion. But like, yeah, it's fine. It's just ambient stuff. So it was cool because I got to sit down in one of the recording booths and kind of make funny noises into the microphone. So it was really cool.
That's a good day at work.
Yeah, it's a good day at work. Totally. There was a question from Emil. Why the quack? I don't know why the quack. I asked them. I was like, did I quack? Or they're like, no. They just like we were recording you, but then you just made some noise in between takes, because I think I made a mistake or something when I was trying to do something, some kind of weird like noise. And they just cut it and took it and just went with it. So it was without my consent, but they did it anyway.
Yeah, whenever I hear it, like at the beginning, I was really confused because, well, it didn't sound like a normal Dandelion voice blind, and I was thinking, is that a card or is that like the board doing something or whatnot? Well, next thing you know, you'll have to do motion capture for the next battle pass.
That would be awesome. I would totally want to, but yeah, it would be nice to do it. Like I always wanted to go on like a mocap session. Maybe there will be this possibility. I kind of missed out because there was when we were working on Cyberpunk, there was this thing that some of the people that work in the studio, they could go and they could have their like face scanned, and based off the face scan, like some of the faces of the developers are in different NPCs in the game. So it would be cool to be an NPC, but I don't know if I was on holiday at the time. I kind of missed out on it. But there was one requirement: you have to shave your beard. So I would have a problem with that. So I don't want to look 15.
That would be worth it. You'll be in the game forever.
Yeah,
have you ever?
Yeah, but then I'll be like, "This is me," and they're like, "Nah, this is not you. Where's the beard?"
Yeah, you have to customize your character after to play yourself in the game, but add the beard.
Yeah, it's just too much hassle. But I think the cool thing about working in a company and working in game dev is kind of the possibility to kind of go and look behind the scenes in terms of like how the games are being made, and also having some contribution. I think also the coolest thing, especially for me, was actually to have Pavko as a card in the game back in the day. And it's really cool just to see more people now from the studio kind of becoming cards of their own.
Yeah, I feel like there is quite a few of them, and I feel like the community maybe hasn't even discovered all of them. So maybe they're like sneaking in somewhere at the back of the cards as well.
Claymore like got most of them, if not all of them. So yeah, Seely's asking when Ryan is getting his card. I have no idea. I can tell you there is there is a list that I saw recently, because actually there is now like a sign up list done properly for the people in line. I think Ryan is there, but he's like number 20 something. And I feel like when it comes to developers becoming cards, I think it's like 1 or 2 per year. So yeah, he still has some time.
Oh, that's how you keep him. He'll never leave because he'll wait for his queue for many more years.
It's like, Ryan. No, he's so passionate, and he's also like working closely with the community, and it's really cool to have someone from the Gwent community join our communications team. So I think he's here to stay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I also work in games, so I know how amazing it is to have people in the community team who actually play these games like all the time, and know all the streamers, know the the community in general, and just love the game. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the strongest aspect of Gwent for me, is that since the beginning, we always had like a very awesome community, and the community, of course, has been growing, has been changing. There have been people coming in, people coming out, but yeah, totally awesome. And I think it's the best part of it. And I feel like everyone's very nice, very humble, and kind of lifts each other up instead of like working against each other.
Yeah, for sure. It's I think in terms of streaming as well, like lots of streamers really like support each other a lot, and with their goals and just advice and everything, and that's just really wholesome. So there is no like weird competition going on or
exactly
like that.
Yeah, I think it's like the worst thing where you see like normally content creators and streamers like fighting against each other, like who gets the more visibility. And I think here we have this, like, even looking at chat right now, is like people like Bane or the Pobs or Seely, and all these people are kind of on every stream, and they're all part of the community, and it's really cool to have them go back and forth and kind of support one another instead of working against each other.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yes, streaming for me has firstly has opened up this world of community, online community, because I never played online games before, and I never was in any guilds or something like this. Never played World of Warcraft and whatnot. And good, that was for the best, maybe. Yeah, streaming I think is really cool, and Gwent is quite mild in that regard, but they still teach. Why I wanted to start streaming was to be able to speak in front of people firstly more, and to be able to take like any negativity or people criticizing you like in real time, because I think that's a good skill to have. But then in Gwent, it doesn't really happen, because I think I banned like 2 people in the 9 months that I've been streaming.
Nice,
So I'm
that's
not
good.
exactly upgrading my skill very much. Everyone's just really wholesome.
Good, that speaks well of the community. Yeah, but I feel like there's, I mean, the only worst thing I feel that you can get as a streamer of a card game is the fact that people will be telling you like what to play. And sometimes it's good, I feel like, because sometimes there were numerous times where someone from chat was giving me like, cues, and they were actually like good tips in order to which card to play or what to do. And some wins happened, and then I also learned a lot from it. But sometimes it's just backseat gamers, sitting there and they're like, I know better than you do.
Yeah, because sometimes, well, I mean, when you're streaming, you're probably just, especially if you're not trying to climb to top 500, you're just chilling and playing the game you enjoy, right? And if you lose, it's like not the end of the world, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I also noticed that I am more, I tend to more like rope out because it's more fun just interacting with chat and actually to talk to everybody instead of just focusing on the plays.
Yeah, I have definitely a bit of a problem with roping, I would say.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. When you started out also streaming Gwent, like who were the people that kind of you were following in the beginning, or kind of when you were learning the game? Was there anyone that shines out of the community that was kind of the person that you were checking out at the time?
Well, I started watching Gwent like way before I started streaming it. So yeah, I would watch Ely, watched Shinmiri a lot, watched, well, Swim back then, and Sir Pumpkin.
Yeah, Pumpkin
as well. Yeah, Pumpkin with his Lana Del Rey streams.
Yes.
I like that because I was going through my Lana stage. I don't know why Pumpkin was going through the Lana stage, but that's fair enough. I thought that's kind of one of the, stages that girls go through, but I was happy to be in there for that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Pumpkin was also one of my favorite streamers, although I shouldn't be playing favorites in this case, but he was playing Skoyazel, right? So was kind of the person to watch. He also recently came back for a short while, so it was really cool to check it out.
Do you like ST like in general, or you prefer elves over dwarves, do you think? Or you just like, because in terms of books, I mean, they're completely 2 different things, right? It's just in Gwent that they're put together.
Yeah, in Gwent they're put together. For me, it's just Skoyatel. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, dwarves I used to love to play, especially when they were like super resilient, and they would stay on the board throughout the whole game, and you would just boost them up to millions of points. It was a good time. But it was also a different Gwent where you can just go really crazy on the points. And same with I used to play a lot of Consume at that time because it was also pretty crazy. But yeah, it's just been Skoyatel. Doesn't matter if it's dwarves. Doesn't matter if it's elves. I think the least I've played like traps. I don't know why. I only liked them back in the day where there was this cancel effect on one of the traps, that if someone played a special card, the trap would flip and it would cancel the effect. So it reminded me of Counterspell from Magic the Gathering. Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
Do you have a favorite card? I guess it's going to be a ST card.
Favorite art? I would say probably
no, yeah.
But okay. Favorite card? Also favorite art, Villain Threatenmirth is up there. I would just say Scorch. I always say Scorch because it's just removal. And yeah, Scorch or Shiro. And of course, people in chat are saying Pafko. Pafko is my favorite, although I'm waiting for a buff for Pafko. Because if Pafko got a buff, maybe I would be a bigger fan. But apparently he's supposed to get a rework. I don't know when this is happening, but it's supposed to happen.
if Pavka was more OP, you'd have been pro rank by now, right?
Yes,
You're just
totally,
waiting for
totally.
this.
I used to like even like create like weird meta decks and also try to like fit them into them, but never like worked 100%. The problem is that you can lock them, you can remove them, you can do anything, so sucks.
You look for decks, do you usually go through some meta reports or something, or you have some inside knowledge on what to play from CDPR
I
team?
actually the most inside knowledge that it's either I whenever what like before we have an update or before we have like a lot of changes, I pretty much hit up our design team and was like, "Hey guys, what do you think is going to be good? And what do you have in terms of like Square decks?" And they sometimes send some stuff over. But also there's like, there's a couple people that we kind of have as let's say kind of insiders helping us out with testing balance stuff. So they kind of also are nice to kind of share the decks that they're testing at a given moment. So it's really cool to have this like community aspect also happening there. But whenever a meta is like going week by week, especially in this one, I've seen some new decks and some changes in terms of like what people are playing. Like I've been lurking on a lot of streams. So if someone just picks up like a Squirtle deck and has something interesting, I will just try to copy it, play around with it, and then see how it looks, and then maybe change out a couple things in order to maybe fit more my play style or kind of be good in a given meta. So that's kind of how I go. How about you? Um, do you like to like craft stuff from scratch, or do you first like before the meta is settling, do you play something that you played in the previous one, or is it just you go into creating something new from scratch?
Yeah, I'm definitely not like the greatest deck builder, that's for sure. And I don't really play a lot of tier one decks, I would say, because they tend to be kind of more or less the same.
Yeah.
So there are some archetypes that I prefer, and every now and then I would kind of try to refuel them and give them a go. Like Visigoth is one of my favorite cards. I just
Nice.
love the boost archetype for an R.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that somewhere, I guess your designers know it. We're just not there yet. We haven't uncovered this knowledge. But Beauty Generator, surely there has to be something, because the way this card was created, I'm pretty sure there have to be some sort of cool combos that no one has just found yet.
I think that there was something, but I don't remember like specifically. But I think there is a way to use it. But I've also seen that not a lot of people have picked it up. So maybe it will have its time to shine. And also depends what will be changed in the upcoming update. Yeah, but more information about that will be closer to the patch. There will be actually a dev video with most likely with Jean and Ryan talking about the changes coming with that one.
I think Jean has been amazing, like with with all the transparency and
Yeah.
the amount of new cards coming out. Like none of them seem to be like completely broken, or I mean, if they have to be, I understand it's hard to balance stuff because you balance it not just for high ranked players, you balance it for everyone who's playing the game. And if the card seems really OP, like if a person is like rank 20 or rank 25, it might not feel OP to them because they
Yeah.
don't really know how to play it.
Yeah, totally agreed. And like Jean is only one of the guys like working on the balance, but he, apart from like all the designers, I think he is the one that really does super well in front of camera, and he's also very passionate about it, wants to work on communication with us, which is something that throughout me, like I've been working on Gwent since the beginning. Like we had different people as, let's say, the face of the design team. And I feel like he's like one of, apart from maybe Luigi, who used to be on every stream with me. He has also his card, Gabor Zigrin.
Oh,
So
really?
he's kind of, I think, apart from Luigi, one of the guys that really wants to communicate with the community and does it in a very like, let's say, I would say in a good manner, in a way that he's really good in front of a camera, instead of just, because not everybody on the design team would like to, appear in front of a camera and talk to the community. Some of them are shy, maybe some of them maybe don't want to be judged and stuff like that. But he was always good with it, and I think Jean is also doing an awesome job on that.
No, yeah, it's been pretty cool to have him on Twig as well. I watched that. That was nice. And during the Masters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's still different from, I mean, streaming, because I thought I wouldn't be able to stream because I'm quite introverted, but streaming is different from, like chatting to someone like
it's
live
true.
right now. Because you get this social kick of talking to people, but you still do it at your own pace, right?
Yes.
Because like you choose when you read the messages, you choose if you reply to it or not. It's quite a nice balance.
Yeah, I agree. It's like that's the cool thing about streaming, because it opens you up to other people, but it's in a way where you don't have someone's face looking directly at you and like saying like, oh, talk to me and stuff like that. You get to choose when you want to interact and when you kind of want to like hold back and kind of be even silent for some time. It's interesting because people think that streamers should be constantly talking and have a lot of energy all the time, but you need to take into account that we're also normal humans, and we either have like a good day or a bad day, or maybe we're focused on the game, we don't really want to talk a lot, but we still want to stream and we still want to have some type of interaction, but we don't always need to be like haha smiling and all that stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we'll be wrapping up shortly, but most importantly, where can people find you if they don't know where to find you? Although looking at the people in chat, they probably know where to find you.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much just fjolynn. So I stream on Twitch. I try to stream 2-3 times a week now, and Twitter, same thing. Just this little handle, fjolynn Twitch.
Nice. When is the next stream?
Oh, probably today. Well, I'm going to another meeting. Not another, because that's not a meeting. But I'm going
this
to
is an important meeting, yes.
Yeah, that was my most important meeting, exactly. And then I'm going to the office, just for a few drinks after work, and maybe after that I'll stream. Nice. For sure at the weekend. But I'll surely can stream at the weekend. We have a nice bank holiday in the UK on Monday.
Same
3 days
here.
off.
Like we have a bank holiday on Tuesday, but I took Monday off, so Monday and Tuesday is technically a longer weekend.
That's the way to go.
That's the way to go.
Smart
exactly.
move.
Yeah, and the weather has gotten better, so I plan to ride my bike all long weekend, so perfect.
What's the longest distance you ever went by bike?
I think it's around 300 kilometers. Around, wow. I think it was a little bit less.
Okay. That's insane, because I can barely ride a bike. I can, if it's a very flat surface and very straight line, but that's about it.
I mean, it's like with every sport. If you get hooked on it and you go crazy, then you'll probably it will come naturally. But yeah, it's just requires lots of training and stuff like that. But yeah, to each his own. I try not to push cycling on everybody, so it's fine. I got it after my dad, and I just stuck with it.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
I'm just gonna push Gwent on everybody. Nice. Play Gwent. That's the best sport. Esport.
Exactly. Esport is also a sport. Exactly. Awesome. fjolynn, thank you for taking the time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll be back, of course, with Twig next week.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Bye.